If you haven't mastered discipline, you're setting yourself up for failure, whether that be financial or fitness. Discipline is the key element for you to reach your goals. As Mike Tyson once said, discipline is the art of doing something you hate as if you love it. Discipline is how all the greats have achieved their greatness. If you look at people like Mike Tyson, for instance, had an iron will. You look at David Goggins, his discipline is unrivaled. Even Joe Rogan talks about discipline and the art of micro wins. It doesn't need to necessarily be a huge factor that you put instantly into action. It's more of changing your brain in order to do small things that you don't want to do now in order to better yourself in the future. If you're struggling to get out of bed early and you're wasting time and you're not doing the things you need to do, discipline can help you change that. You're pretty much utilizing a top-down control in your brain to micromanage what you're doing. The issue is your brain is wired in a way that it wants instant gratification. It wants instant dopamine. So when you are in bed and your alarm goes off and you hit the snooze button, this is your brain going into comfort mode. Staying in bed is that instant gratification, that instant release of dopamine. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is rewiring the brain to do small acts that feel crap now that will give you delayed gratification. There is studies out there that show that the more you do these small micro wins in your life and the more you receive the delayed gratification, the faster your brain will actually release the dopamine. So in the long run, getting up on your alarm, doing the things you need to do will release more dopamine than that instant gratification of staying in bed or eating the chocolate bar. The more you can utilize this top-down control to create small wins throughout your day, and the more delayed gratification you receive, it will create a butterfly effect. The more smaller wins you have, the easier the bigger wins will be. The more small, hard decisions you make, the easier the very big financial and fitness decisions you will make will be. There is always a never-ending friction within your brain. Discipline can be molded and learned and applied as often as possible, but discipline can never be truly mastered. You will always have friction within your brain, and this is when the top-down control will happen. You have this friction. You have, I like to call it, two voices. You will have your normal brain voice, the voice that tells you to stay in bed, the voice that tells you to eat the chocolate bar, the voice that tells you not to read that book today, not to do the work, you'll do it later. And then you have the top-down control, where you will then put your brain into a mode where you have your second voice, which is the authority voice, the boss voice, the voice you need to bring out more often, the voice that will say, I'm getting out of bed, this is why I need to do this right now, get out. The voice that will say, put the chocolate bar back, we don't need to eat that, we're not eating the chocolate bar. The more you can listen to that powerful authority voice, the more you will implement discipline and the more you will receive the wins in your life. You will rewire your brain to make these small wins count and to actually be able to perform these small wins and override your normal brain function. It's going to take willpower. Now, the beautiful thing about utilizing discipline and actually forcing your brain to make these decisions you don't want to do, it will grow the part of your brain responsible for willpower. So it's like a muscle. If I train my bicep at the gym, the more I train that bicep, the larger it will grow and the easier it will lift. If you train discipline and you make these micro wins every single day consistently, that part of your brain will grow larger, physically larger, and your ability to use your willpower will grow alongside it. So it's hand in hand. The more you do this action, the easier this action will become. Let's put this into real life scenarios, for instance. You have a 90-minute block to work on something. Typically speaking, say you want to learn a new material, you want to read a book, you want to write an essay or whatever it is that you're doing in that 90-minute block. So you will sit down. Say you would typically study for about 45 minutes. And at that 45 minute, you will go and have a cup of coffee. You have a nice cup of coffee break, refreshes you, and you're ready to finish that 90 minutes block that you have. The way to utilize discipline to make small wins and grow that part of the brain would be switching things up occasionally. If you're sitting down for your 90-minute block and you go to your 45-minute and you're thinking about going and having a coffee, once every now and then, switch it up completely and just go the whole 90 minutes. What this does is it will spike it in your brain that You're not following the routine that you're typically following. This is implementing that discipline part and that willpower part to grow that part of the brain. Then the next time you sit down for that 90-minute session, you will be able to study for that 90 minutes easily. Or when you have that coffee break in between, it's going to perk you up even more and you're going to be even more focused after the cup of coffee. It's going to have more of a beneficial effect. Let's put this into perspective for, say, a day that you go to the gym. For instance, I need these eggs in the basket to have an incredible workout. I need to be well rested. I need to have a good pre-workout meal. I need to have a good pre-workout stimulant, and I need good music in my ears at the gym. These are the 4 things that are staple for a good workout. Now, if you typically do this day in and day out, and that's how you have a workout, this becomes the only way you perceive yourself to have a good workout. What you should do is twice a week, once a week, throw a spanner in the works, show up to the gym, don't take your pre-workout stimulant, leave your headphones in the car, and force yourself to have a workout. What this is doing is it's implementing these micro wins. I've had a successful training session without this and this. I didn't need the music and I didn't need the pre-workout. I still got it done. This is building that willpower in your brain. This is making you more disciplined. This is having a scenario where everything's not going to plan, but you can still act and achieve the same goal. This is so beneficial in life, in business as well. If you have to have all these things flowing for this one business call and one thing goes out of hick and it ruins everything, you can change that and be so strong-minded that no matter what happens throughout that period, you will finish the business you need to do. If you can switch it up a little bit, not only will it benefit your brain and your power to still persist and finish the goal you have. Imagine when you come to the gym the next day for the same training session and you take pre-workout and you have music in your ears again. You're gonna feel like a god. I've done this myself many times. I will switch up my routine to just throw a spanner in the works, make my brain react, make that powerful authority voice come out, force myself to do something, and I've always gotten better. And then when I do go back to doing how I had it in my previous routine, it felt even more amazing. Imagine a life where you come into the office and everyone is just clocking in, they're tired, they're not focused, they're angry that the day's starting. And now imagine you've already had 4 or 5 wins that morning. You got up on your alarm, first pop, that's 1 win. You had a cold shower to bring in the energy and wake you up, that's another win. You had a healthy, good breakfast, that's another win. You exercised at the gym and you got a really good workout in, that's 4 wins before you even got to the office. How easy is your day gonna be now knowing, hey, I'm a winner already today. So no matter what happens in the office, no matter what problems are brought to my desk, I'm already a winner. How easy is that gonna make your life? If you go into every single day already have won battles within your mind, the rest of the day is going to be a breeze. Add that up day in and day out. Your life is going to become exponentially easier. You are always going to have to practice discipline. There's never going to be a time where you're now this incredibly disciplined person and everything is no effort and you get up and you do everything you need to do without any bad thoughts about that thing. It's never going to happen. Even David Goggins, he talks about how every single morning he'll sit there and stare at his running shoes for 20 minutes, thinking in his head, I don't want to put these fucking things on, I want to go back to bed. But he forces himself to put the running shoes on every morning and run those miles. He's building wins. So you're not just going to wake up one day and be disciplined. Rome was not built in a day. To build a good house, you need strong foundation. You're the house, you need to build that foundation. Start with micro wins every day, and you will grow into the person that you need to be to achieve the goals you already have. If you liked this video, head over and subscribe to my channel. Also, you can sign up to my mailing list for more in-depth information that I don't post here on YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the next video.